What's up, buddy? So today we're taking a look at Micro Machines V3, and which settings looks the best for this game in DuckStation. So we are starting here with the default settings. So yeah, the internal resolution is 1x or native resolution here, and dithering is turned off or is set to true color, and the scaling here is bilinear smooth. And yeah, it works alright here. It's not exactly amazing, but no, I would say this looks pretty alright here. And well, given that this also is so cartoony looking graphics here, I think this would work pretty well here if we just increase the internal resolution. So let's start with that. So let's go for the internal resolution of 4K, which is this recordings resolution here, and yeah, things are a lot more crisper here for sure. And we can also definitely see a lot more how the 3D objects kind of bubble around here, which is pretty standard for PlayStation 1 games. But DuckStation does support geometry correction here, so let's turn that on. And yeah, that made things a lot better here. So yeah, that's a pretty good option here, just to increase the internal resolution. I think that works pretty well for this game here. We do have other things like these objects here, which doesn't have any textures or anything like that. So I wouldn't say they don't exactly look amazing here, but that doesn't really change with the internal resolution. But we do have dithering is something you can get a little bit more details, or that could add to it a bit here. So let's try to turn that on, and there we go. And as we can see here, yeah, we do have this little pattern here, which well, at least for some parts here, I would say that works a lot better. Dithering is not something everybody likes there, but well, for this game I think I would go with this one, given that it's yeah, you have a lot of objects that doesn't have any textures. And well, when we have this turned on here, you do have a little bit more details for stuff like that. So I think this works a little bit better with this turned on. We have some other 3D objects here. That's another example here, like these ones. These don't have any textures. They are just a flat color here. So if we go back to turning off the dithering or set it to true color, there we go. It's definitely cleaner, and well, I guess some might prefer this. But I think this looks a little bit better with this turned on here, so that is what I'm gonna go with. There we go. And same with these things here. The ground here is just a flat texture, or it's not a texture at all, it's just a color. And same with this little 3D object here. So let's go back to true color. Yeah, I think it works a little bit better if this is turned on here. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Alright, well, we do have some other settings that we can also try here. One would be if we try some downsampling. That could look pretty good sometimes. So let's turn that on. There we go. And I'm still keeping the internal resolution here of 1x. And what this does here is that the internal resolution is 4K, but that is then downsampled back to the native resolution here. So we have, well, it's still kind of blurry here, but still a little bit smoother than if we just go with the native resolution. And for this game, I would say it still looks pretty good here. Things blend in pretty well, and well, it's also kind of hides some of the not so detailed textures and stuff like that. Dithering is also not as noticeable here, so for that thing I think it could work pretty well here as well. So yeah, we could also change the scaling here from bilinear smooth to nearest neighbor if we want it to be a bit more pixelated here. And for this game, I would say this also looks pretty good here. I think I prefer the a little bit more blurry bilinear smooth here, but this is definitely an option here. So yeah, let's go back to bilinear smooth. Here we go. So yeah, this is also pretty nice with the downsampling here. But let's also try another thing I usually find to work pretty well, and that is if we turn off the downsampling and then increase or change the internal resolution here to just 2x. So it's slightly upscaled, but not all that much. And then we go into the advanced settings here and turn on multi-sampling. So we have this one here. This is the one I find to work the best here. So there we go. So now we still have a little bit of a blurriness given that we don't have too much upscaling here. So the dithering patterns here is not as noticeable as if it is otherwise. And yeah, everything kind of blends in pretty well here. So I think this works. I think this works fairly well here as well. So for this game, I would say this is more what I prefer the most here. Another thing also to have a look at would be the widescreen option here. We do have. Oh, we need to go back to rendering. DuckStation does support widescreen here, so yeah, let's turn that on next here. Alright, well, here we go. This is with the widescreen turned on here, and well, it's quite noticeable here how everything kinda builds up here on the edge of the screen here. So yeah, for this game, I don't think this works very well. It's quite distracting here how everything kinda builds up here on the edges of the screen. So yeah, not amazing here for this game. One option is also if we just still want a 16:9 widescreen, we could just also stretch the screen here. So let's try that. There we go. And well, it works alright here, but everything definitely looks a little bit squished here. And to actually stretch the screen here, you do have to have the aspect ratio set to 16:9 there or something like that. So it otherwise, if you just have it set to the default auto, it will do, let's see, there we go, and it will just get the correct aspect ratio if we do have that, which also I think this looks the best here for this game for sure. Anyway, I guess this is it for this video. You all stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.